Ladies and gentlemen, before we start the event, we would like to show you a video, India, the preferred investment destination. Please enjoy. Ladies and gentlemen, the Embassy of India welcomes all of you to our event, India-Japan Partnership Miyagi. 駐日インド大使館へようこそ。We're honored to welcome Honorable Governor of Miyagi Prefecture, Honorable Speaker of Miyagi Prefecture Assembly, Honorable members of the Japanese Diet, Executive Vice President of JETRO, Partner and Chair of the Asia Group, and all of our esteemed guests and speakers. To begin our seminar, I would like to invite His Excellency Mr. C.B. George, Ambassador of India to Japan, for his welcome remarks.
Your Excellency Mr. Yoshihiro Murai, Governor of the Miyagi Prefecture, Your Excellency Mr. Shinji Takahashi, Chairperson of the Miyagi Prefecture Assembly, His Excellency, Her Excellency Ms. Noriko Ishigaki, Honorable Member, House of Councillors, His Excellency Mr. Mitsuru Sakurai, Honorable Member House of Councillors, Honorable Members of the Miyagi Prefecture Assembly, His Excellency Mr. Shigeru Sugawara, Honorable Mayor of Kesenuma City, His Excellency Mr. Keiki Ishiyama, Honorable Mayor of Kami Town, Sri Ashok Malik, Partner and Chair of India Practice, the Asia Group, and former advisor to the Minister of External Affairs in the Government of India, Mr. Kazuya Nakajo-san, the Honorable Executive Vice President of JETRO, representatives of various companies who are here present physically and also joining us online, representatives from the Miyagi Prefecture, representatives of Confederation of Indian Industry, Invest India, Nihon EduTech Private Limited, who have joined us virtually from India for their presentations. Distinguished guests, good afternoon. It's an honor to welcome His Excellency Mr. Yoshihiro Murai, Governor of the Miyagi Prefecture, and a distinguished delegation from Miyagi today, this evening. It's simultaneous. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm delighted that this event celebrating India-Japan partnership with a special focus on Miyagi has become a reality. We are today here to strengthen our ties, but to also celebrate the long-standing cultural, historical, and spiritual connections that unite our two countries. I fondly remember my visit to the beautiful Miyagi Prefecture in July last year, and my discussions with the Honorable Governor on the way forward to strengthen further India-Japan partnership, including through increased engagement with Miyagi Prefecture in diverse fields such as trade, investment, academic cooperation, science and technology collaborations, tourism, and human resources. Dear friends, in recent years, our relationship between India and Japan has evolved into a dynamic economic and strategic partnership. Today, we share a special and global partnership founded on shared values, mutual respect, and a common vision for peace and prosperity. Our cooperation extends across multiple sectors, including trade, investment, science and technology, energy, healthcare, space, and defense. Further, we are united in our efforts to ensure peace and stability in the Indo Pacific region, including through initiatives like the Quad. In fact, when you look at our relationship, today we call our relationship a special, strategic, and global partnership. Why is it special? First and foremost, it is special because we have no history of conflict. We have history of friendship, which we celebrate every day. And it is on that foundation that we build our relationship, brick by brick, every day. In fact, in the last 2 years, I had the great honor of traveling to all the 47 prefectures. Everywhere I went, I could see a momentum for India-Japan relationship, an interest for India in Japan. And it is all across the country. And it is my responsibility to make sure that that momentum is converted into solid, concrete results. We would like to have more and more participation of business in India. There are 1,500 Japanese companies in India. Together, there are 5,000 branches all across the beautiful country of India. These are 1,500 success stories. I would like to have that success stories told in Japan every day, so that more and more companies get attracted to India. India is an opportunity. We say it is a billion opportunity. We are growing 7% on an average for the last several years, and we will continue to grow at least 7%. And the growth rate, the compound growth, cumulative growth is huge, which will transform India in the coming years. We would like Japan to be a partner in that growth. Let us grow together in Indo-Pacific and beyond. As part of this vision, I have envisaged that we should work towards converting this 1,500 into 15,000. We need to have a quantum leap in our relationship, not an incremental progress. Together, we would be able to grow so that our two countries and the people will benefit. I see the presence of Jetro, Vice President, here. I thank Jetro for the initiative it takes in encouraging more and more collaboration between our two countries. When I went to 47 prefectures and did economic seminars in most of the prefectures, Jetro was always there to support us and work with us. And last week, Jetro Vice President was in India leading a semiconductor mission to India. This is one of the areas our two countries are working together. When we talk about the numbers, it is not just the number of Japanese companies in India that I need to work to increase the number. It is also other numbers. Like we have, on an average, at any given point of time, we have 1.5 million Indian students studying abroad. But when it comes to Japan, we have only 1,500 Indian students. There again, we need a quantum leap. I need to increase the number. My target is to make it 15,000 in the next few years and make it 150,000. Japan has good universities. India has very good university. We could have more and more tie-up. It's happening. But I need to scale it up again. This is what I would like to work with the prefectures so that we can increase the number of companies which collaborate, both large and medium and small and medium scale companies too, the SMEs. We have set up a small and medium scale SME cell in the embassy to focus on the small and medium scale companies. I look forward to working with you, each one of you, on that and see how we can take it forward. I once again thank His Excellency, the Honorable Governor, who has wholeheartedly agreed to with me and spent time he had also visited the embassy earlier during the Cherry Blossom Festival. I look forward to receiving him and his team again in the embassy. Once again, I thank each one of you for joining us. I wish a very successful and useful interaction today. Once again, welcome to the embassy. Thank you and good evening.
Thank you, Excellency. May I request His Excellency Mr. Murai Yoshihiro, Honorable Governor of Miyagi Prefecture, to make a keynote address.
Good
afternoon, everyone. Namaste, everyone. I am Yoshihiro Murai, Governor of Miyagi Prefecture. The India-Japan Partnership Miyagi Day. I would like to say a few words about my deepest Excellency C.B. George, Ambassador of India to Japan, for welcoming us to this embassy this past March and for hosting this wonderful event today. We are very much grateful for your incredible support in promoting friendly exchanges between India and Miyagi. I am actually the chair of the various prefectures across Japan. So I actually meet a lot of ambassadors to Japan, and Mr. Shibi George is a very friendly person, and I really feel number one ambassador to Japan among all those ambassadors who are in Japan. So thank you very much for this. And I also like to thank for the members of the House of Councillors and Miyagi Prefecture Assembly, and also Mr. Sugawara, Senuma City Mayor, and also Mr. Ishiyama, Kami Town Mayor, and also our distinguished guests and participants for joining us this afternoon. So we have many companies from Miyagi Prefecture who share deep connections with India various fields such as business development and human resources. Thank you for all taking time to travel here to participate in this event. Last year, the number of foreign residents in Miyagi Prefecture increased to approximately 27,000, a record high for the prefecture. While this has created valuable opportunities to carry out exchanges with foreign residents, number of Indian nationals residing in the region remains very small, and currently there are a few companies who are currently accepting human resources from India. Based on this circumstances, it is my hope that learning about the acceptance system for foreign human resources in Miyagi, as well as special technology and features of our companies and this afternoon, that all of you in attendance here will have the opportunity to deepen exchanges with one another and to make step forward great collaboration between India and Miyagi in the field of human resources and economy. Furthermore, I am sure this event is a valuable opportunity for our participants from Miyagi to hear directly from about India's investment environment and IT service project. I've been very much looking forward to this. I encourage all of you to share opinions with one another. I myself am very much looking forward to these presentations. Following this event in this hall, there will be an opportunity for you to enjoy our various sake made in Miyagi, and also like you to enjoy demonstration of Kokeshi wouldn't or class person experience some other attraction we have brought today. On your next holiday, I hope you will come visit us Miyagi. Furthermore, next year in January, Miyagi Prefecture will be inviting ambassadors and representatives from 14 different countries and regions, including India, to take part in the Miyagi Ambassador Summit. So this is actually the first time that we'll actually demonstrate this. I really appreciate His Excellency Mr. George will actually participate to this. Just to wrap up, I'd like to express my appreciation again and also admiration to all of you here today for your contribution to the development of the friendship between India and Japan. I wish for today's event not only deepen cooperation and cooperation between our two countries, but also to promote further development between India and Miyagi in the future. Thank you very much. Dhanyabad. Thank you.
一つ言うの忘れました。こちらに参りましたときに、歓迎の意を表していただきました。似合いますか？ありがとうございます。じゃあこれをつけて、このまま仙台に帰りたいと思います。どうもありがとうござ
We
いました。
keep wearing this and back to
Thank you, Excellency. May I request Mr. Nakajo Kazuya, Executive Vice President of JETRO, to make remarks.
Ambassador to India to Japan, His Excellency C.B. George, and Mr. Yoshihiro Murai, Governor of the Miyagi Prefecture, and the other speakers and participants. And that as Ishiyama, mayor, and also that the councilors member, and also that the participant for the Miyagi, and also the speakers and participants. Thank you very much for that introduction. My name is Nakajo, the board member of the JETRO. At the opening Miyagi Day, an exchange event will be in the Embassy of India and Miyagi project. Let me extend my brief remarks. As Ambassador His Excellency said, as you have recently heard, India is expected to overtake. India is the country of business opportunities. As the governor said, that the growth rate is very high, and also the standard of living is going up in India tremendously, and also that many the necessity of the life have been growing one after another in India, and there is going to be the number one after another. Also, against this backdrop, technology, know-how, and ideas should be necessary to further grow that the industry in India. In order for the industry or economy to grow, that we are looking forward to the middle class, expansion of the so-called middle income class. Euromonitor says, this is the Research Institute Europe, says that the income exceeding $15,000 is about 2 million, 3 million yen per year. This is considered to be the middle class income people. So, or the lower middle, and those people who can afford the four-wheel vehicles, the so-called, well, they can afford PCs, smartphones, and also that the durable home appliances are coming into the middle class households. And here in 2020, 4 years ago, accounted for only 10% of the population in India. But according to the Research Institute, they said that it will be whopping 40% in India by 2030. 40% means 1 billion times 4. I'm slow to calculate. Well, how much? Well, more than the 500 million people will be in the middle class, and that is that 4 times of the population of Japan is going to the middle class in India shortly, which is a huge, huge element. And so that it attests to you that how great that the potential, the opportunity of India. Well, that 5,000 locations and also 1,500 companies. Yes, it is true. And the ambassador says that it's going to be 10 times, tenfold. And every day that the general has been working very hard to achieve this target. Japanese companies are active also. Out of 1,500 active Japanese companies, and if we do that the questionnaires, this is a worldwide questionnaires annually that we conduct among the leaders of the companies in next 1-2 years. They say that 75.6% of the respondents said that they will expand their business. And this is a top figure from all over the country. So last year, well, this is the figure of the 2 years ago, actually, that's 75%. Out of 1,500, not all of them respond, but anyway, that statistically, that the respondents, out of the respondents, 75.6%, 3/4 say that they are going to expand their business and investment in India. So when the number is renewed to be produced next week, actually, but the preview says that in India, number 1. And more than 80% of the respondents said that they are going to expand the business. Now, 80% of the Japanese companies is very committed to the future of India. More than 80%. They say that they will expand the business in India. Having said so, you see that well, those people that who are actively active in India, they are very hopeful. There is going to be the big business opportunities and the market expand. And then how to jump into India is the next challenge. For us, Jetro, we have the 5 offices in India, and also this embassy, Indian embassy in Japan, has been doing the very meticulous projects for helping us. Well, for example, the Invest India, this is one of the national project, which is the embassy is very much involved, and also the SME itself for promoting that activities and operation of India of the Japanese SME, and I commend their hard work. In Miyagi, Natori, Shu Innovative Lab, yes, I think that the representative is here operating in Natori City and Miyagi. They are doing a dairy farmer business in India. A little surprising, but in many areas, well, so far it was just the Japanese automobile air cons and home appliances and engineering. These are the conventional Japanese products industries being active in India, but it has been expanding into the agriculture into the future, or even consumer goods businesses, or food stuff, Japanese diet. Japanese food and cookings are many diversified items are making their way into India because the standard of living of Indian people are elevating, and they need a diversified product. I stayed in the hotel in India recently. There are 4 restaurants in one is Asia, and Mamagoto is the name, and another is a pure Japanese food. So the 2 Japanese, the restaurant out of 4 of the leading hotels in India was surprised. And also, the demonstration of the Japanese food stuff is very popular. The Miyagi is famous among the Japanese prefecture. The good food. We should take advantage of this. And also that His Excellency said that the India is noted for the science and technology and the leading peers, and it is a scientific and technological powerhouse backed of the STEM education and IIT and many of the excellent universities are generating the high quality human resources. Tohoku also, that the Miyagi prefecture is also being the center of the advanced research, including Tohoku University and their institutions. And so that this is a hub of the science and technology and the research in Japan. And we are, inviting that Philips has the research institute, and there have been a lot of attention from the overseas inside to Japan. Well, that we are collaborating to this, and so resources of the Tohoku resources of Miyagi have to be taken advantage of by the India and Japan both for the creation of new values. That is my wish anyway. So, while supporting the exchange of the academics or the foreign students, and also the private and public exchange, and also the investment and trade, and also collaboration in these different aspects, JETRO is just ready for, helping you at this one of the 5 offices. Please let us know. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. May I request Mr. Ashok Marik, Partner Chair of India Practice, the Asia Group, to make remarks.
Ambassador Shibi George, Murai-san, Nakazo-san, distinguished guests from the Miyagi Prefecture, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for inviting me to speak at this very important event designed to take forward the business and economic partnership between Japan and India. Our countries are close. We share political positions, enormous people-to-people goodwill, and are dependable partners in various forums, including, of course, the Quad. However, our economic engagement, while it has a long history, to be honest, is far from fulfilling its potential. Every step towards redressing that and advancing our business relations is welcome and helps. And that is what makes events such as this one so meaningful. India began to open up its economy in 1991. Currently, it is in the early stages of its third post-1991 growth surge. The first ran for about 5 years till 95. The second ran for about a decade, from 2003 to 2011. The current surge could potentially go on much longer, beyond 10 years, perhaps even 20 years. In the coming decade, India is expected to contribute 20% of global growth. Yet, this growth spurt, prospectively transformational for the Indian economy and society, is qualitatively different from the earlier two. It comes from enormous accretion in Indian infrastructure, which you saw in the presentation in the past decade under the government of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. It comes with a frenetic digitization of society. Not surprisingly, these two have laid the foundations of a manufacturing revolution, especially in emerging sectors such as mobile phones, electronics, semiconductors and the semiconductor ecosystem, renewable energy equipment, electric vehicles, and military platforms. India's manufacturing ambitions are understandable and well founded. They are rooted in not just its enormous domestic market, but also the need to rebalance the national economy from its long standing services sector dependency. And in critical areas, they also flow from the need to build national capacities as an economic security imperative. An emblem of that is the semiconductor push, a thrust towards manufacturing, packaging, and design of semiconductors backed by a $10 billion first round of subsidies by the Government of India under its production linked incentive program, with the promise of a further round of funding which will be even larger. Consequently, the first fabs are being built in India, including with American and Taiwanese support. Yet, if a full fledged semiconductor ecosystem has to come up in India, it cannot without significant Japanese participation. Today, India is not just a manufacturing hub for the Indian market. Products, especially value products, that work in India often find larger acceptance in regional markets, in other parts of South Asia, in West Asia, in Africa, and even parts of Eurasia and Eastern Europe. Japanese companies know this. They know this better than many others. As far back as the early 1990s, Suzuki cars made in India were sold in Hungary. Even today, Japanese automakers use their facilities in India to target not just the Indian market, but to target the African market. India's FTA with the UAE and growing trade corridor with the Gulf Cooperation Council countries and the wider West Asia offer further opportunities. For Japanese companies, a presence in India can be a force multiplier in more ways than one. As the Indian economy is changing, so is the mindset of the Indian consumer. Outbound tourism, to take one example, has exploded. About 29 million Indians travel abroad every year, spending, on the last count, $33 billion a year. This number has trebled in the past 12 years. It is growing not arithmetically, but exponentially. According to one study, by 2027, 3 years from now, India should eclipse Australia, Canada, and France to become the world's fifth biggest outbound tourism market. By then, Indian tourists could account for $89 billion as market value. I do hope more and more of these tourists come to Japan, and I do hope they come here to Tokyo as well as to the Miyagi prefecture. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a snapshot of the future India is building. And no future for us in India is complete without the full and unbridled participation of our friends in Japan. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Now we would like to screen the promotion movie of Miyagi Prefecture. Please enjoy. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now start the second session of our today's event. The speakers will be presenting on business and tourism opportunities in Miyagi and India. We will invite guest speakers from the Miyagi side for the first part, while the second part will be virtual presentations conducted by the Indian side online. May I first invite Mr. Sato Kanzaburo, Miyagi Hotel Ryokan Association, onto the stage.
Thank you for introduction. I am Kanzaburo Sato. So prior to this, I'd like to start apologizing and also making some excuse. So 9th and 10th last week at our hotel, we actually had some meeting for the resilience and sightseeing, and we are quite busy just to accept those people, and we were actually I really need to complete those presentation. So I really didn't actually have a lot of time for preparing this PowerPoint. And I really have to say this is not a very much great PowerPoint, just to attach in the images, hoping that you would actually get the actual main key points. So from myself, I'd actually explain how we can actually accept the India human capitals to Miyagi, and I'd like to talk about the actual system and the framework, and I would like to move on to just to accepting the actual labor forces from India. I only have 10 minutes for my session, so I'd like to start with my very much personal experience. So over 40 years ago, I actually experienced to travel to India as a backpacker. I spent 2 weeks in India. It was very much stimulated journey for me, and that was very much interesting, intriguing experience that I had to do this trip to India. I was very young then. I don't know where to go, but I stayed 2 weeks. After 5 years ago, for this first trip, I actually spent about 2 weeks because I was very much fascinated by India. India actually has a very much deep sort of area. Just so back then, I wasn't able to secure the actual ticket for the train, even just queuing up for like a half day. But I was able to get the reserved seat, as there's so many people, I wasn't able to find my seats. So Delhi, Benares, Buddha Patna, Calcutta, those are the areas that I traveled when I was young. Let's move on to the next slide. So as of now, I am actually responsible involving some human resource area at the Japan Ryokan Hotel Association. This is actually industrial paper. So revitalizing to employee the foreign labors. And this is something that we are, our organization actually do about the matching of those labor forces outside Japan and also those organizations who must accept this. So last July, as you can see here, we actually conducted some matching event between the conservation facilities and dispatching organization, registration support organization, and management organizations. So the Indian labor force, which actually received a lot of attentions, but there was no particular sort of destination. There was no particular areas of the countries to have those people. We actually have about 28 companies and also about over 180 accommodation facilities actually participated. So many people actually anticipated to accept the labor forces from India. So there are about like a one-on-one meeting about a particular time frame, about 1 hour. So to talk about more, they'll actually have a pitch in presentation, and the accommodation facilities actually raise a question towards the presentation. So in the actual day of event, as you can see in this slide, we are able to receive so many expectation, the voice of expectation from various people. And the ambassador of Japan to India, His Excellency Suzuki talked about those 3 points. So if you look at India, there are so many people who live in it. There are about 1.4 billion and 28 million. And the actual average age of Indian population actually are 18, so it's very young. So we would like to really just utilize those labors. And Indian people are very good at speaking English. So I have to say, a lot of Japanese people are not competent in English. So maybe the labor force from India could actually be a bridge to help those language difficulties. And the northeastern area of the India actually have a very similar features with Japanese people. So, which was a key takeaway from ambassador to India from Japan, actually provided some key points. So, hoping that we could actually continue with this. So, the accommodation facilities are very much fascinated to accept the labor forces from India. The accommodation facility actually joined this job fair organized by Japan Tourism Agency, and we are able to visit NSDC facility, which is located in Gurugram. So I know that there are some voices that Japanese accommodation facilities are not that proactive to understand about welcoming the labor forces outside Japan, but this is actually not. I talked about NSDC, National Skill Development Corporation. The 49% of the capital is actually reported by the Indian government, and also 51% is actually from the private sector. So NSDC is actually focusing on the skill development for the private sector. So this is the NABIS. It's a snapshot for NABIS that when we actually visit NABIS. So this school is very much proactive to dispatch or send off their students to Japan. And they've been also let students to understand about the particular Japanese way of greeting, like how to bow as such. So those very much skilled students actually learning those customs in Japan, and they would like to welcome those very much skilled labor forces from India. I'd like to conclude with those 2 main points. In order to accept the Indian labor forces, I know there are some hurdles, but we talked about some outbound opportunities in India. The hoping that we should actually start building a sort of framework to receive the Indian tourists to Japan, and also in Miyagi Prefecture, in order to the city of Osaka is starting to set up the schools to welcome the labor forces from outside Japan, and it seems like the Indian labor forces are not being considered as one of them. So, hoping that maybe this school can actually start it.
Thank you, sir. For the next presentation, may I call Mr. Shimizu Takamitsu, Department Manager, Tohoku Bioarray, for his presentation.
Thank
Much for the introduction that I'm represented TBA, the startup of Tohoku University. About 4 years ago, there was a pandemic, and almost every day that you have heard of the PCR inspection or gene inspection tests. So our mission is that easy and simple genetic testing. That is our mission. And so that I would like to eliminate all the infectious diseases from all over the world. That's our mission. And as the global issues include the urban area and the rural area, the healthcare disparities between urban and rural areas. That is one of the global problems. Urban area can see the sufficient facilities and staff members and expensive instruments, but which is not the case of the rural areas. And in the urban areas, you can see that easy access to the big hospitals, but which is impossible in rural areas, especially the backwater area. Sometimes that you have to spend whole day traveling by bus to the big hospital. And in urban areas, that the advanced and diverse testing is available, including the genetic testing. But the genetic testing is impossible, and there is a limited testing, and so that a possible delay. And using the antigen tests instead, not the genetic testing, not available, so that the possibility of the delayed appropriate diagnosis and treatment, and even the increased risk of misdiagnosis may take place in the rural areas. And so the antigen testing is very prevalent all over the world, including the backwater areas. But the challenge here is the limited flexibility, low accuracy, and also they can't determine the drug efficacy, and it cannot be grappled with the same contagious diseases. And so that the antigen testing cannot give the answer of the new drug sensitivity. And however, the genetic testing is highly accurate, and also just like a COVID-19, enable the early diagnosis of infection, very flexible. And also the drug efficacy can be determined by the genetic testing. However, the challenges are the need professional skills and their hard work to utilize the genetic testing and the high cost of installing the equipment. That is a challenge. And so that I would like to provide a solution of the genetic testing, novel genetic testing. We call this SDH path. SDH path technology enables the easy genetic testing for anyone, anywhere, even in areas with a limited medical infrastructure. We developed this technology. And so the base model was developed about a decade ago, and we have been evolving. And in the cassette tape, a new release was in 2024. And so that both inside and out of Japan, all the companies and universities and the research institutes highly evaluate our new technology, advanced ones. So our benefits, the characteristics, and no need of expensive machinery, no need for the special training or the skills of the medical professionals, or that the medical detection. Well, that's a one target per one person. However, that our technology allows the max 12 targets of the genes. So out of this, that the cost efficiency and easy to use is possible, and also that the high versatile that you can address that the many infectious diseases, not only one. Versatility. And so this is the comparison with the existing technology. WHO recommended the tuberculosis genetic test. So Gene Expert was recommended by WHO. That's the recommendation of WHO. However, this is a high tech and completely automated. However, that is so expensive. Maintenance cost is charged every year. So expensive. Well, it is not possible to install all rural clinics of the village clinics. That is impossible. Too expensive. But our genetic test, no need for expensive machinery, no need of special training, and also that the capex is limited, and therefore, so I think that our technology, STH Pass, can provide the genetic testing in rural areas with weak healthcare infrastructure world over. Is our determination. This is our business model. And for us, we provide a diagnostic kit. We prepare the platform for this. And for each of the regions and countries that we would like to join hands with diagnostic manufacturer and conclude that the partnership. And so these manufacturers develop that the diagnostic kit, which is can tackle the endogenous diseases, and so that they can sell on behalf of us, Japan, China, and Indonesia, Thailand. We already have that agreed of the partnership, and also India is a possibility. Africa, ASEAN. We are currently working on building a new sales channel to these areas. So our goal, this is the last slide of ours, is to contribute to the improvement of global healthcare infrastructure, and we aim to eliminate the regional disparities in healthcare level and create a society where the people around the world have equal access to the medical diagnosis, especially the gene test. We hope to eradicate the infectious diseases in the world. This concludes my remarks. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Next, may I invite Mr. Glenn Mansfield Keeney, the President and CEO of Cyber Solutions, for his presentation.
Yes, Your Excellencies and distinguished guests and friends, ladies and gentlemen. So today I'll be talking about Cyber Solutions story, my story. Yes, I'm from Miyagi. Miyagi in this. I've been in Miyagi for 40 years. I think you should clap it. Yes, it's a Miyagi. It's a beautiful place. Yeah, we start. Yes, already we've been told. I mean, there's nothing much more to add. It's beautiful. And but today I want to just go on to the last two parts. The technology, which is very close to us, and the people. Yes. So next please. Yes. So for the people, we have these universities here, Tohoku University and Miyagi University. Okay. And we have a very dynamic group of young, beautiful students also. And we have, yes, the next please. This Professor Nishizawa, he's now passed away. And you should know that Tohoku University, it's a cradle of optical communications. That's what has made this today's information age a reality. He has fathered that, Nishizawa Sensei. He's from Tohoku University. And we have Professor Noguchi. He's the one with whom I work very closely. I consider him to be the father of IT in that region. Yes, he had the vision to promote IT there. And we have, a very, very approachable. Yes, I think we should give a clap here. Yes, you should know that we've had a very friendly, very approachable, and governor. Yes, and I have known him for the past, several years, more than 10 years. I don't know how many years ago. Yes, so it's a brilliant place. Yes. Okay, so the type of things that we are doing, could we go on to the next? So I think you wouldn't, relate to this. This is a map of the internet. This we did in the early 90s. This was the first time we did the map of the internet. And it was made in Miyagi. So yes, Miyagi did the first map of the internet. So also this RFC 1567 something, this was the first internet standard that was published from Miyagi. And it was the second internet standard published in Japan. The first one was published by Professor Jun Murai. He's known as the father of the Japanese internet. The second we did. And so we put also Miyagi on the internet map. It's a thing that's going on. Okay, so now we'll come to the company, Cyber Solutions. Yeah. So we are a small company, very small company. And yes, in Miyagi Prefecture, and we do basically research development and product development, technology development on network operations management and security. Yeah. Okay. So, and this, you see this Netscape Koban? Hmm? It sounds like an English word, Japanese word we don't know. Netscape is a Japanese word. It's netto, to help people on the network. Okay, so that's what we started when we, started working on this. That's how we started. And Koban, that's a quintessential Japanese police box. Very polite, very kind, but very efficient, right? So that's our Netfit Koban. That's our, our flagship product. Okay. So next, please. So what we've been doing is, we are basically an innovation company. We keep, innovating technology, and we take ideas, do experiments, develop technology, develop products, and based on those products, these are the products that we have developed. Hmm? Yes, and then we do business based on those products. Okay. So next, please. So, yes, I need to tell you that when I started doing business, that was roughly 30 years ago, um, I just had my shirt on my back, nothing else, but a lot of goodwill from the whole of, the city and the prefecture. And yes, but we did. The goodwill came in the form of projects that we did, in the country. So lots of these competitive projects we would, apply, get them, and based on that, we've done a number of standards, a few technologies, and some open software and some products, right? So can we go to the next? Yeah. So these are the standards that we have done, and the internet, the standards are made, anybody can do that. Hmm? And so roughly 10 of those have come from us, and just about 30 years ago we started doing this. Okay. And then next one. Yeah. Yes, next. We have patents. We started taking patents pretty late in the day. Okay. And these patents are all about network security, network mapping, and things like that. Okay. And the patents are in several countries. We have them in India, Japan, US. Okay. So we are doing that. So we are good in technology. And then here, yes. So next, please. So particularly from Miyagi-Ken, like we've been receiving grants for projects like this. If you look at this for security management, next, yeah, and next, and next, yes, and please go on, yeah. And yes, so you see, like these three, could you go on to the next, please? Yeah, so this has helped us develop what is known as the Netscape Koban Nano. Okay, can you go on to the next? Okay, yes, so you see that this device here, so it's a palm-sized device, and this gives you security for, your organization. Okay, and this has got the Product of Excellence Award last year. Okay, and it's one of our main, business products. Okay, and it continues, so we can continue on this. Yeah, it's going on like this. So yes, now I want to tell you that what is all this about. Okay, can we go on to the next? Okay, but before that, let me use this opportunity to convey my sincere thanks to starting with the Governor Murai, and yes, and yes, the entire Miyagi-Ken for the kind and long continuous support that we've been receiving. Okay, so coming down to our products. So can you go to the previous slide, please? Or the next one? Yes. Yeah, the next. Okay, something is missing. Okay, I just wanted to start with that there's a bad news for everyone. And the bad news is that there is a high risk of a cyber attack. Anyone, everyone, anytime. Okay, so bad things can happen. You must be hearing about ransomware. It happens. If it hasn't happened, that's because you don't matter. Yeah. Okay. So we'll go, yeah. Okay. So then we'll go on to the next slide. Yes. So I want to tell you about the risk that we are all running a risk of a cyber attack. I'll try to give it in very simple terms. That if this dimension gives you how many people can access your information resources,
This is from where, the area from where they can access. And this is the time during which they can access. So then the volume of this, this tube, this gives the risk. Okay. So next, please. So we have to reduce that risk. And obviously we can't take that risk down to zero, because when we take anything down to zero, then it's useless. Okay. But that is the target. So can we go on to the next? Yeah. So now, yes, next please. Yes. So that is zero trust. That's the keyword now in network security. Don't trust. Okay. And we have, next please. So we have taken this zero trust to mean that you don't trust. So then go on checking every time, anyone, everywhere. Okay. So that's what we do. And in the intranet, what we do is we check who is there, doing what with whom. Okay. And yes, so with that, we have a deeper insight into the security. Okay. And that we make it, visualize it, make it easy to understand. Okay. And that we use for analysis and whatever. Okay. So can we go on to the next, please? Yeah. So to be more specific, okay, the technology that we have, you have a network, we will map it. Okay. Any network. So this tells us, who is connected to whom. It's going faster than I can speak. Sorry. So we give it. Yeah. Could we go to the previous slide, please? I'm sorry. Can we go to the previous slide? Yes. Previous. Yeah. So this, it automatically, very much automatically, it maps the entire network. And the reason I'm telling you is that we believe that we are unique in this. This technology is patented. Okay. And then the next, please. Yeah. The other thing is that you come and connect to the network, we will detect you. Okay. You see, you get the connection with security. So you connect to the network, we'll detect you. And if you're not allowed, we will block you. Okay. So it has that power. Okay. So then let's go next. And this is very important, that you have in your network, you have a device which is infected. So it's trying to spread. We will detect that and we will notice that. So yes, so we can go on to the next one, please. So this is how we detect, to put it very simply, that our device will give you a list of all the terminals that are there in the network, who is there in the network. Okay. It also tells us that how many persons, how many other devices this device is talking to. Okay. And we can then, sorry, could you go to the previous slide, please? Yes. So we can check that who are these 20 devices that this device is talking to. And we can from there figure out, no, but this device was not supposed to talk to this device. And that's an indication of malware. Okay. So therefore we can detect malware. So the things that the features that I told you, these are all patented original technology of ours. Okay. And this device, the way it's selling in Japan, it's like this, all over Japan, it has several deployments. And yes, and then can we go to the next one? Yes, in this Kanto area, the Tokyo area, so it has also massive deployments, right? So our dream is to have, we believe that security is not a technological problem. It's not a technological issue. It's a social issue. So we want to have a security service and solution which is inexpensive, easy to understand, and simple. Okay. And then, yes. So this we will develop. We are developing it in Miyagi. And yes. So we believe this is going to be a Michinoku model. And from there, we will disseminate this all over Japan. And from there to the rest of the world. Okay. And what's the situation now? We already have deployments in 3 other countries. Okay. And yes, maybe next year, if I'm here, I'll tell you that we have deployments in another 20 countries, which is now in the pipeline. So that's it. Thank you so much. Yes. Namaskar. Yes. And arigato.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Next, may I invite Mr. Kadoya Noriyuki, the founder and CTO of Airato Inc., for his presentation.
Ah, よろしくお願いします。アイラトの角谷と言います。我々はですね、東北大医学部発のスタートアップとして活動しておりまして、今年の2月ですね、村井知事肝入りの宮城県スタートアップのピッチで、1000万ピッチで優勝させていただいたということもあり、今回、呼ばれたかなと思いますので、まあそういうところで宮城県の期待も背負いつつ、プレッシャーもありつつ、この1年、事業を進めておりますので、まあ我々はですね、放射線治療をのパフォーマンスを高める医療 AI のソフトウェアを開発しておりまして、で、一応ですね、予定では2年後にはぜひインドに進出したいというところがありますので、ぜひそのがん治療というのは、まあ、インド、宮城県関係なく全世界の共通だと思いますので、まあ、その辺で我々の医療 AI ソフトウェアを通してですね、宮城県とインドが交流できればいいなというところで、ちょっとですね、スライドがですね、ピッチ用のスライドになってますので、まあ、我々こういうことをやってますよというのをご紹介しつつ、少し、インドの方々と交流できるところがあればと思っています。じゃあ次のスライドお願いします。で、まあ皆さんせっかくですので、ぜひがん治療も勉強しながら、書いていただければと思うんですけど、まあこのような形でですね、放射線治療を含めまして、今のがんの、三大治療っていうのはですね、まあサージェリー、ドラッグ、ありますけど、まあ非常に負担が大きい治療となってます。で、我々はですね、放射線治療といって体の外から当てるだけで治せるような治療になってますので、まあ非常に高い効果がありまして、超高齢化社会では重要な役割を担ってます。で、これ国内の患者さんでもずっと右肩上がりで増えているような状況です。で次お願いします。で、その中でですね、最先端な、治療としてこのインテンシティモジュレーションラディエーションセラピー IMRT とか普及してきてます。これは非常に細いビームをですね、だいたい100から200ショットいろんな角度から打ち込むことによって、まあ、従来よりもピンポイントで使用に当てることができます。で、東北大学の例でも7割ぐらいだった制御率が今 95% と劇的に改善していますので、なんとかこの IMRT をいろんな施設で、行えるようにするというのが我々の
T's the effectiveness at 95.2%, which is a drastic improvement. However, the major challenge exists, especially that the plan of the radiation, that we have to make the plan, which is a tardy that operation, so that experienced planner should be necessary for that will separate the poor and the good treatment, or 16% of the effective may different from that experienced planner or not experienced area. So the gap of 16% is common in Japan and the world over. Another challenge is shortage of the medical staff, that it takes 6 hours of one plan of the treatment, well, 15 minutes of the radiation, but previous to the treatment, 6 hours one plan should be necessary. And so that contouring 2 hours, and how much of the radiation, what the angles, 100 and 200 angles, radiation area determination, safety verification, 1 hour, and also radiation area determination, 3 hours, 6 hours. And that is the inhibition of the further prevailing of this technology. As the first time, the AI-based radiation treatment planning the support service, RATO Guide, was developed. And this is a CT. After acquiring the planning CT, the AI consists of conduct 3 operations, which is reduced 6 hours to 20 minutes, and which can be that very easily done in many hospitals of the INRT. So this is a prototype, and this is actual service demo. Just by inputting the patient's CT image into the RATO guide, we can make the best treatment plan automatically in 20 minutes. Now that, we are a part of the Tohoku University, however, that we are the first in the world, and the Asian, the students are coming in, and AI-based safety verification technology use that we have been implemented in society based on the platform we created Tohoku University. So that as a business model, the next year that we would like to launch the first equipment in Japan, and from 2026, India and Malaysia and Thailand that would like to advance into that the Asia service usage fees at the $10,000 monthly, and one time the purchase is 600K. And so these are the prototype. Many of the major hospitals they are participated the test performance, and the test has been conducted in Thailand and Malaysia. This is the human-made planning and AI-made. Please look at it; it's almost identical. So 2025 launching, and this is a trend forecast, we hope, and we would like to be the unicorn and IPO in 2030. That is a plan right now. So that, as we have mentioned, that as the pitch of the startup pitch in Miyagi, that we are the number one winner, and we have acquired many awards of the pitch conference and many places in Japan. Saving all cancer patients with radiation therapy is our mission. We are working to achieve our vision, saving all cancers patients, together with the collaboration of the Indian counterpart. So in advance, please, help us and assist us.
Performers from Miyagi and also India, please come to the stage as well. The dancers from India, please come to the stage as well, since we'd like to take a group photos. We are sort of waiting for some Indian dance performers also coming. Oh,
Ladies and gentlemen, moving forward with our event today. Next, we're going to have virtual presentations conducted by our guest speakers in India. May I request Mr. Savesh, Assistant Vice President of Invest India, to start your presentation.
Thank you. I'm Sarvesh from Invest India. Invest India is the National Investment Promotion and Facilitation Agency. I would like to take this opportunity to speak briefly about what is happening in India at this moment, and then brief about what Invest India is and how we can help any company looking to come to India and do business here. So to start with, you might be aware of this. India GDP is close to 4 trillion US dollars, and soon we will be the third largest economy in the world. We have registered a GDP growth rate of 7.2% last financial year, ending in March 24, which makes us the fastest growing large economy in the world, with controlled inflation and trade, both services and goods trade that is exponentially growing. We target this economy to grow further. The target for 2030 is 2 trillion in goods and services export from the country. What drives this significant growth part is two factors. One, the favorable demographics that we have. We are the second largest working age population, something around 430 million at this moment, and this population will be around, is projected to be around 860 million by 2030. And the second important thing that is driving are the government reforms that have taken place in the past few years. Something like National Logistics Policy, which aims to reduce the logistics cost for any company to single digits, in digital infrastructure in terms of unified payment interface, improving the port infrastructure in the company, and government schemes to push Make in India. We have a scheme called Production Linked Incentive Scheme, where the government has earmarked financial outlay of around $26 billion to various such sectors, incentivizing companies to come to India and make here, where the government is also giving them incentives in line with how their production scales up from year to year. These macro factors are in favor of India, which is reflected in our exports, both goods and services, and our economic data factors. For a simple, our Make in India manufacturing is progressing, which can be seen by the numbers on month-on-month basis. Something like Purchasing Manufacturing Index, which measures how the country's manufacturing sector is growing, that has been in the expansionary zone for more than 36 continuous months, that is 3 years and plus. If I move on to say that how India compares with the rest of the world in terms of key factors which are considered by any industry, labor force I spoke about earlier, we see one of the lowest costs for water and power in India compared to something like Brazil or Vietnam or even China. Our Global Innovation Index and Logistics Performance Index, these rankings are improving year on year, where for example, Global Innovation Index, that was something around 80 global ranking back in 2015, 2015, and in less than 10 years, it has halved the ranking. Like I said, government reforms, budgetary boost are one of the key factors driving this improvement. We have seen significant investment by the government in improving India's infrastructure, which our current budget for infrastructure stands at around USD 132 billion, which makes it around approximately 3.3% of the GDP. Uh, the government has also given exemptions on custom duty on certain minerals, which are key components for making electrical vehicles in the country. Then we have seen significant incentives in the solar energy space, renewable energy space broadly, semiconductor and pharmaceutical industries. Moving on, we see that India-Japan shares a very strong relationship from ages. Uh, in Japan is the fifth largest investor in the country when we measure in terms of FDI, foreign direct investment. Japan is the fifth largest country, investing around $42.5 billion since April 2000. Now, this number has come across different companies, but 40% or greater than 40% has been in manufacturing sectors, something like automobiles, pharmaceutical, metallurgy, etc. We have around 1,400 Japanese companies in India currently, but we expect this number to significantly increase in the coming years. To actively promote these Japanese companies in India to help make sure that they feel at home away from home, India has what is unique in terms of Japanese industrial townships. So there are 11 such townships across the length of India, as you can see on the screen. These townships are dedicated industrial zones where a bunch of Japanese companies come together, open the unit by the sides, and function there. So this is with the purpose that the industrial area can be developed as a proper Japanese hub, so that these companies feel at home even in India. So if you up north is something like Nimrana, which houses around 50 Japanese companies. We have in the west side we have Sanand, Gujarat, Japanese industrial township, which is coming up as good semiconductor electronics market in India. And then down south, we have multiple Japanese industrial townships, each catering to different Japanese companies. One of the key factors in ensuring more and more Japanese interest, and what something that gives us confidence of the Japanese interest in India, are the surveys that bilateral agencies like JETRO or Japan Bank for International Cooperation, JBIC, they conduct from time to time. What you see on the screen are the survey results of JETRO and JBIC from last year, 2023, where Japanese affiliated companies have shown significant interest in expanding their business in India. And the chart on the left hand side is a depiction of the same. Whereas JPIC survey found that, as for the past 15 years, found that Japanese companies have rated India as the most promising destination globally. What stands out in that data is that India being the leading country, India's gap to the second highest ranking country has increased in the last year from what was around 10-12% earlier to now what is around 18%, which bodes well for evaluating or having a sense of how many Japanese companies are actually considering India or are already present in India and looking to expand their business here. Thereby, we would invite all Japanese companies to come to India, explore the business opportunities, and there will be something for everyone. To facilitate this, we have a Japan Plus desk at Invest India. Invest India, like I said, is the National Investment Promotion and Facilitation Agency under the aegis of Ministry of Commerce, Government of India. Now, Japan Plus desk was set up within Invest India in partnership with Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry, Government of Japan, as well as JETRO, where we work hand in hand with the JETRO people to ensure that Japanese companies feel welcome to India, and they find it easy to navigate the contours of doing business in India. We try and focus on policy advisory, helping them with regulatory clearances, understanding them the industry landscape in India, and site assessment, location assessment, and addressing any issues that any Japanese companies would come to face. Which brings me to what Miyagi and India can partner with. Basis our prelim research, we see a lot of potential. Japan, or Miyagi, is the third largest auto manufacturing area hub prefecture in Japan, and India is the third largest automobile market in globally. This makes us direct collaborating partners where companies can consider India for its skill labor, amount of labor, and the young demographics to do their production in India. They get the benefit of a local market which is big in size, and you have established presence of someone like Suzuki or Toyota, which is already working, or which has made their way in the India market, and currently they dominate around 50% of the total India automobile market. Uh, even even if I talk of the new age thing, electronic vehicles and basically locomotion based on sustainable fuel, the government of India is taking significant initiatives to promote this, and this sector, electronic vehicle sector, is expected to see a CAGR of around 49-50% in the coming years. The second biggest area can be electronics, where uh, again, Miyagi is one of the leading hub prefectures in Japan for electronics manufacturing, and correspondingly, India's electronics market has seen significant growth in the recent past. The current market size or manufacturing of electronic items in India stands around $101 billion and is soon expected to be $300 billion. One key aspect that is driving this growth are electronic manufacturing services company, the EMS companies, which with the subsector of that, which is the significant contributor to this growth, and they by the subsector itself sees a growth of 25-30% growth rate in the near term. What is driving this are the government initiatives, government incentives towards this. The government of India launched a Semicon India program a few years back, which was for a financial outlay of $10 billion, where the idea was to promote self-sufficiency of India in having all components, all aspects of the value chain of electronics to be made in India. Now, having made significant progress in that regard, government is thinking of a second scheme which can be announced soon in this regard to ensure that the complete picture is established in India, and India becomes truly becomes a self-sufficient market in electronic space. One other area that my predecessors have spoken about is about Tohoku University. Somewhere or the other, everyone is somewhere linked to Tohoku University, which is Japan's top-ranked university, and we would like to explore possible areas of collaboration in research and development field, especially with Tohoku University and other universities as well. There can be marquee areas. India is the pharmacy for the world. India manufactures a lot of generic vaccines for the world. This was displayed in prominence during COVID times, where India could supply COVID vaccines to many countries outside India. This is where we would like to collaborate with someone like Tohoku universities and other universities in Miyagi Prefecture to explore areas where we can work on research facilities for newer vaccines. And with changing times, this is the need of the hour. This automatically brings me to the last part, which is technology. In general, technology runs across sectors, whether it be electronics, AI, cybersecurity, and others. India has the manpower, India has a skilled manpower, and Japan has the nuance for technological development. I think this can come together, collaborate on areas where we can work together and focus on technological development in multiple fields. Just to give you a sample, India is one of the leading countries when it comes to global capability centers. Something around 1,600 plus global capability centers are presently operating in India and employing more than 1.5 million people. And with this, I would like to conclude my presentation. Thank you so much. And I would like to reiterate that we invite all Japanese companies, Miyagi companies, to come to India, explore business opportunities, and Invest India is at the forefront of it. And we'll be happy to engage in a one-to-one discussion to understand everyone's perspective and explore business opportunities together. Our email IDs are on your screen. We'll be happy to receive your interest. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next, we will have a virtual presentation by Mr. Ashish Trivedi, Principal Consultant, Confederation of Indian Industry, and Mr. Krishnan Narayanan, MD and CEO of Nihon Edutech. It's over to you, sir.
Thank you so much. His Excellency Mr. C.B. George, Ambassador of India to Japan. His Excellency Mr. Yoshihiro Murai, Governor Miyagi Prefecture. All esteemed speakers and the distinguished guests for today's session. Thank you so much for joining, and thank you for giving us opportunity to present. CII is a leading industry association of India with close to 9,000 members spread across India, 66 offices with 9 international offices. We work very closely on international space with a lot of countries, and with Japan. We have partnership with JETRO, JICA, and METI as well. We work with Ministry of Economy, Trade and Investment. This particular session today covers about the skilled professionals, which one of my colleagues just from Invest India presented about the potential which India gives from the skilled professionals. And in this space, we have been the first mover when it comes to moving skilled professionals from India to Japan under the famous prestigious Japan TITP project, Technical Intern Training Project. And in this, we have been working since 2015, 18, when the government agreed to work under TITP project and take skilled professionals from India to Japan. And we were the first sending organization approved by the government to send technical interns to Japan. And we work on this particular project with our consortium partner, Nihon Edutech, who is going to cover the MD of Nihon Edutech, Mr. Krishnan, is in the call with us today. And he's going to talk about the whole project and how we are working in India to support skilled professionals moving to Japan. We are one of the largest sending organizations when it comes to sending candidates from India to Japan. We have sent, and the numbers my colleague Krishnan is going to cover in his subsequent slide. And we'd like Krishnan to now start the presentation and take you through. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Ashish-san. 皆さん、こんにちは。すいません。私の下手な日本語で今日は日本語で話したいと思いますので、何か間違いあったら許してください。まず私のちょっと簡単な自己紹介から、その後、今日の話し合いポイントに行きますけれども、約30年前に私が日本に行きまして、その時は IT 開発者として東京に行きましたんです。で、今の4万人のうちインド人が今いる中で、私が多分最初の頃の IT 人材として日本に行きましたと思いますけれども、その後約7年前に CII と今の送り出し機関をやり始めて、今まで400名ぐらいを送り出しをして、労働省から高等人材まで送り出しをして、本当に楽しみにやっていると思います。これからもインドと日本の間の
job, and I would like to the bridge continuously the bridge between India and Japan for sending that the personnel that I hope that there is going to be a growing business of the sending of the personnel to Japan. I would like to continue working hard. Now there are many slides, so that I would like to be as brief as possible, and I would like to concentrate the main points only. That about the India, which will be followed by that our company CII, and also that about CII Nihon education support, and the contents are also included. This is all still very, very small. And Miyagi Prefecture and the prefectures around the Miyagi Prefecture that I would like to get their interest in our projects. First of all, that as you know, that in India is that yes, Arya, Dravida, and Mongolian. That there are many ethnic groups in India, and they are very interested in working overseas. India has a lot of excellent human resources of many different areas of the business, especially that 28 years of the average age. And so that for 30 years to now, volume zone continues the production age for the next 30 years. That means that the minimum wage is low and they are willing to work in Japan over a long period of time. And so that the Japanese is a challenge. But even so, well, many people are really, really interested in coming to Japan for work. Next page shows you that why Japan? Why India? Well, one is the number one of the population in the world. That's one of the reasons why. Then that the pronunciation of the Japanese is very, very good, and also that fast learners, and they are good. They are mentally intellectual and also dexterous. And already in Japan, that many of the more than 40,000 Indians are living and working in Japan, mainly the IT engineers. But not only that, as Navis and LLDC, that the number was introduced. And out of all of these, yes, at about 2,000 professionals are sent to Japan. I would like to increase to the 20,000 or the 200,000 even. Now that the characteristic nature of the India, the India has a very good image of Japan, safe country, and also courteous and kind people, and also the technically excellent. That is the image of the India of Japan, and abiding with the rules, and so that they are the privilege to work and make profit in Japan. Of course, there are a lot of areas of the improvement of India, as we have mentioned. Yes, for the Japanese are that abide by the rules, and also make the apologies, and whenever the wrong they are mistaken, and so that they're learning the Japanese in a very hard way and learning a manner in a hard way. And I was introduced EduTech is Japan specific Japanese language training or sending of the people to Japan or supporting.
What we always do, so like Japanese language teacher actually teaches Japanese. As a sending agency, we have also sort of task that we need to do, and also the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Indian government actually certified us, so we have a license to do this, to dispatching the people. So let me talk about how CII and Nihon EduTech is actually collaborating. So we have the actual support for recruiting and setting up the model career center, particularly for the enterprises. Over 1 million people have already went through career counseling, and we have already provided some support the recruitment success for over 700,000 people. So we would actually do the recruiting for the Japanese companies. And also, is there any particular sort of request like welding and others? We would actually try to find a highly skilled worker to meet this. So CII is actually the certification authority. So the Nihon EduTech can actually introduce highly skilled workers, particularly for the manufacturing industry. Highly skilled workers are something that a lot of companies is actually requesting. So I'm sure that Nihon EduTech can actually be the bridge for this. And I already have this multiple skill centers, so we would actually let those people candidate to learn Japanese and also to try to adjust their skill set level as well. So just looking at our growth so far. So in 2020, 2018, then we have actually sent off those people. 2018, that was the first time that we actually sent off. But due to COVID, we need to stop this. But we have already sent about over 400 people, and also some the technical intern trainee. We directly introduced this. So I have to say threefold the actual manufacturing, but not only limited to this, the caring facility and agriculture. I'm sure that there are certain organizations who are looking for such workforce in that specified segment in Miyagi. Then we are here to be able to introduce you. So the Japanese language study. We are actually providing a different path. We would actually enhance the Japanese conversational skill. So when they are alive in Japan, they are ready to be able to start having some conversation in Japanese, particularly for the manufacturing section. We have already introduced some workers who has a highly proficiency in Japanese conversation. So that is why the organization is actually asking to find it. So hoping to find some candidates which can actually get a plus N3 Japanese language certification level. We talked about, the training of the Japanese custom, like greeting style. So we teach them, and we didn't actually have many Indian operators, but we sort of educate them so that they are ready to be able to start working in Japanese organization. So we've been actually using some playbook and just let them. So we have a particular sort of collaboration with these particular schools. So we are sort of supporting those candidates so that they can actually start working right away when they arrive. As you know, if there's any particular project requested from Japan, we will try to recruit and also do some pre-interview. And at the time of the full sort of interview, we will start providing some training. And we are trying to make sure those candidates can actually speak and also to express themselves in Japanese. So we have started to recruit the new grad with some Japanese ability. I've been actually doing this when I was working for IT industry in Japan. So using my experiences, we actually doing this. Maybe 2 to 6 months time frame. I think we just use actually preparation time, then we can actually let those candidates to introduce the particular organization. And in India, we don't need any recommendation paper or letter from the government. So if there's any particular request, then we will actually find the candidate and then we will actually get particular qualification to stay in Japan. But for other countries other than India, I think you need to go through some recommendation letter from a particular certain government. But for India, we don't have to do this, so it's much quicker. So as I explained earlier, not only just focusing on Japanese language, we have also some training program for the particular vocational program. South that we have a different center in the southern part of India and northern part of India. So depending on the actual roles, we will actually provide some training program, agriculture and also the enterprise or the services industry, particularly for the collaborating with some organization for the accommodation facilities, and we are providing some training scheme. So we also do some negotiation before they will actually land in Japan. So that is why we are ready to be able to introduce highly skilled workers. Let me now talk about the actual support in Japan. Why those workers in Japan? I think we really need to. This is actually important to provide those support for the technical intern trainee and for the others as well. So even we actually dispatch those workers to Japan, maybe like once per 2 to 3 months, we'd actually conduct some survey and also we would actually provide a report after receiving some the actual research. And Japan side also have some collaboration scheme. So even for the so we can actually provide some translation service on the spot if needed. And we have some plan. So we're actually planning to have some interpreters available from the time of dispatching the workers to Japan. So we've been actually providing those support. Even coming back to India, the CIM model case, after being actually studies in Japan and coming back to the India, then we can actually now find other surveyor to this. But in Miyagi, we don't actually have a lot of areas, but I think we have a full mechanical being introduced in Miyagi. We were able to have dispatch the mechanic, but there are 4 mechanic in Sendai and also Koriyama. There are about 25 mechanics that are actually available in Japan.
I visit the Tohoku quite often. And also for the support itself, that I think this is something that no problem or a support structure of these trainees. And this is my last slide. In Japan, we will take care of that the trainees. 3 training centers at the southernmost within the technical the college. The center is located. At least 3 months should be the they have to stay in a dorm for learning Japanese, and they also that learn the working customs of Japan. Not only the technical training is provided, that manner that providing that drilling of how to abide by the manners and the courteous ways, and there are 2 that excellent people are supporting them that have spent 6 years in Japan and turned back. And also the Northeast that they have been soliciting the partners. In Japan, Yokohama, Osaka, that we have Asia-Tech and the Japanese companies and supporting from Yokohama. That so I spend half of the time in Osaka for supporting from the Japanese side. So this is a 2-way. And so the companies of the Miyagi that well, we are ready to send the top of the people, cream of the people, to be our best partner. Thank you very much for your attention, and thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, sir. Now, we would like to invite you to experience the beautiful cultures of both Miyagi and India. On this special occasion, we're pleased to present Fire Protection Tiger Dance of Miyagi. This tradition began around 650 years ago in Kami town in Miyagi Prefecture, where strong winds often led to large fires. According to legend, tigers have the power to control the wind, so the dance became a ritual for fire protection in the town. Every year, tiger dancers perform at the town's festival both on rooftops and through the streets. During the performance today, the tigers may move around the venue and bite your heads. It is believed that when the tiger bites your head, it takes the evil spirits away, promoting good health and protections from illness. Please join me in welcoming our performers from Miyagi Prefecture. Arigatou gozaimashita. Thank you very much for such beautiful performances. Thank you very much. As our last program of today's event, we would like to offer everyone a glimpse of authentic Indian culture. The dance performance we present today is Bharatnatyam. Bharatnatyam is regarded as the oldest form of classical dance in South India. Today we present Tilana, a lively and dynamic piece that captures the energy of South India. This duet is performed by Erika Imanari, who studied at the renowned College of Fine Arts in Chennai, South India, and Maya Shoko, who devotes her time between Japan and India, performing at numerous events. Please enjoy.
தன்னும் தனததிரனா ஆதிருதானி தோம் தீரனா தன்னும் தனததிரனா ஆதிருதானி தோம் தீரனா 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 தனததிரனா Raja
Thank you very much. Arigatou gozaimashita. Thank you very much for wonderful, wonderful dances. With this, we would like to conclude. The embassy would like to express gratitude to all the distinguished guests and each and every one of you for joining us today's event. We're going to have a networking session in the lobby area just right outside this auditorium. Thank you very much for coming to participate in this event today. Thank you very much. Arigatou gozaimasu. And please do not forget to return the receiver at the reception. Thank you very much for your cooperation.